What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This here is Legitical Response. We cover political news. We keep you up to date and keep you informed with everything that the government does because they do some underhanded stuff all the time. So that's what we're here for. And speaking of underhanded stuff, they're trying to ban TikTok again. Now, you might be one of these people that think, yeah, TikTok is bad. We don't need to let our kids' minds get melted into mush from TikTok. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Kids don't need to be spending all their damn time on the internet, right? On social media, on TikTok, just flipping through videos constantly because they can get influenced really bad from this stuff. But, I'm more of a libertarian mindset when it comes to stuff like this. I don't think the government should intervene in stuff. This is a job for parents. Parents need to get in there and, say, look, you can use TikTok, but only for a little while. But then you got to go do this. You got to get off of it. That's for parents to do. If you believe that your kid shouldn't be on TikTok, if you want them to waste their brain power on just scrolling through random videos constantly and getting influenced by people that you have no idea what kind of influence they're putting on you, then go right ahead. That's what I think. You should be at liberty to decide to do that if you want to do that. And the government loves to ban. Because the reason I don't like these bills is because they're never just that bill. They're never just, oh, well, let's ban TikTok and this app and this app. There's always other stuff underneath that goes into all kinds of other crap that gives more power to the government because the government loves their power, don't they? I mean, just look at everything Joe Biden is doing. Look at what the Democrats are doing to keep power. Look what they did in 2020. That was some underhanded crap. And if you don't believe me, what I'm saying, because I'm not even saying anything specific, but I would suggest to everybody out there that watches that thinks that the 2020 presidential election was the most free and fair election ever, go look up Time Magazine. It's called The Shadow Campaign. Go look that up and read that. And your mind will be absolutely blown. The links that they went to make sure Donald Trump would not remain in power. It is absolutely mind-blowing. And just, read it with an open mind. That's all I would say. You might be on the left and you might read that and be like, well, yeah. No, that's underhanded stuff, bro. You can't, no. Sure, it's legal, but it's cheating, essentially. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about something totally different, so I'm going to get off of that, and we're going to segue into today's story. Let's get into it right quick. House bill would force ByteDance to divest TikTok or face ban. Yeah, see, this one I like on its face so far. It's not banning TikTok outright. It's not taking any civil liberties away from anybody. What it is doing is getting foreign countries out of the pockets and out of the brains of people in this country. I happen to like that. I don't think we should be so heavily involved with the world as we are. We're trying to act like we're the world's police when we're not. We got people all over this country. A U.S. serviceman with the Air Force set himself on fire in front of the Israeli embassy like last week or something like that to protest what's going on in Palestine. Huh? Set himself on fire, killed himself to make a statement about a conflict in a foreign country. First, how did that guy fly under the radar? He's in the military. He's active service member. How did that fly under the mental checks that we have in our military? And second, why would you go to that length to make such a statement? Why are you that worried about what's going on in a foreign country? Oh, you might say, oh, well, they're killing civilians, they're killing children and all this other stuff. Well, yeah, they are. But why are we involved in that? Why aren't you worried about the starving kids in Africa or all of the drug cartels in Mexico? Why aren't you worried about our southern border, for God's sakes? All these people that are bringing their children across our southern border. These people are homeless and starving, and they get abused by the cartels on their way here. How come we're not worried about that? I yell about the southern border all the damn time. If we would close our southern border, it would de-incentivize these people to come here, not putting themselves in that dangerous situation. That's what I think we should do. But that's how I feel. Let's get into the story, though. A bipartisan House bill unveiled Tuesday would force ByteDance, the China-based parent company of TikTok, to divest the short-form video app or face a ban of the platform in the U.S. Introduced by Reps Mike Gallagher and Raja... I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I'm sorry. The top lawmakers on the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party is the latest effort to ban TikTok over concern about potential national security threats posed by ByteDance. I think they meant to put over concerns about potential national security. Blah, blah, blah. I think that was a typo, so I apologize for that. The Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversaries Controlled Applications Act, y'all couldn't have come up with something better, specifically defines ByteDance and TikTok as a foreign adversary-controlled application. The bill also creates a broader framework that would allow the president to designate other foreign adversary-controlled applications. Foreign adversaries under the scope of the bill include China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran. The bill would give ByteDance more than 5 months after the law would go into effect to divest TikTok. If the company does not divest TikTok, it would become illegal to distribute it through an app store or web hosting platform in the U.S., effectively banning it even among current users. The bill has more than a dozen bipartisan co-sponsors, with an even split down party lines, according to the committee aide. The aide declined to share the names of specific sponsors. This bill is an outright ban of TikTok, no matter how much the authors try to disguise it. This legislation would trample on the First Amendment rights of 170 Americans and deprive 5 million small businesses of a platform they rely on to grow and create jobs, TikTok spokesperson Alex Horick told The Hill. A Republican-backed bill last year attempted to ban TikTok outright, but faced pushback from Democrats who said the effort was rushed and could impede on free speech rights. Now, this is an argument you hear all the time. They're going to trample on your First Amendment rights. Well, hang on. Explain to me how that works. How are they trampling on First Amendment rights? They're not saying you can't get on this platform. They're telling China to get the F out. But even if they do ban it, even still, how does that trample First Amendment rights? This is another argument I've made even about the social media stuff, like banning people off of social media. I've argued that it shuts up your First Amendment rights. It kind of does, but it kind of doesn't in the same way, because what did we do before TikTok and before social media? So that means our freedom of speech has been trampled on since the beginning of time, folks. That's what that means to me. Let me know if you think differently down in the comments section. Explain to me exactly how getting rid of an application like TikTok would trample on your right of freedom of speech and freedom of expression. I would love to know that, because you can't go on this privately owned application and express yourself. Is that what it is? You can still express yourself, though. Just because you can't do it publicly at this specific place doesn't mean you can't do it at all. But I understand. Yeah, you are stopping people from expressing themselves at this place. I'm still kind of on the fence. I go back and forth on this. But like I said, what did we do before TikTok? We just had our First Amendment rights trampled on for that entire time. That's what I get from that. That's one, like I said, I go back and forth on this one, because sure, you can see it that way, and, I do kind of see it that way, but I also kind of see it the other way. Like, you don't get to come into my house. if I invite somebody over to my house and then they start making all kind of racist slurs and saying a bunch of crap I don't like, well, you can get the F out of my house. That's what you can do. I'm going to kick you right on out of my house. Does that mean I'm trampling on your First Amendment rights? Try to bring that one up in a court and see what happens. No, they would say individuals have the right to kick you out of their house. I could say you're trampling on my First Amendment rights because now you're causing all this drama. I can't express myself in the way I want to because I'm scared. Blah, blah, blah. You could make an argument for just about anything. But what is the right argument here? That's a good question. Let me know down in the comment section. A bipartisan group of senators also introduced a bill last year, did not specifically name TikTok, but laid out a process that would allow the Commerce Department to identify apps that pose risks and potentially ban them. The bill failed to gain momentum even after gaining support from the White House. Yeah, because that bill basically was the Patriot Act 2.0. It allowed the government to spy on everybody. There was all kind of really, really bad provisions in that bill. And when people realized what was in this bill and what it was going to do, they said, no, we're not going to vote for this. Of course not. Sure, it bans TikTok. And that's what the proponents of it basically came out and said, yeah, we're banning TikTok. But when other people started reading the legislation, they're like, no, this allows the government to do this and this and this. It allows them to spy on people even more than they already do. So no. We're not going to go along with this. Rand Paul is the one that I saw that brought up the best arguments against it. Because at the time I was like, yeah, let's ban TikTok. But then Rand Paul came out and said, no, this bill does this and this and this. I forget what it was. I'm sorry. I can't remember the exact, but it was basically it allowed the government even more access to our data to spy on us, to see what we're doing. But I don't remember the exact provisions of what it was, the exact language that was in the bill. So, I apologize for that. I can't remember everything, but I try. Gallagher's proposal seeks to avoid running into some of the concerns that emerged as roadblocks to other bills based on the committee's aide's description. However, there are still political concerns with banning the app given its growing popularity with U.S. users and practical concerns based on the loopholes users could use to gain access to TikTok even if it were effectively banned. The House Energy and Commerce Committee announced Tuesday it will consider the bill at a Thursday markup. I commended Select Committee on the CCP Chair Mike Gallagher and Ranking Member Raja Something for their leadership on this bipartisan bill and look forward to advancing this bill this week, said Rep. Kathy McMorris Rogers, chair of the Energy and Commerce panel in a Tuesday statement. But yeah, so we'll see. We will have a committee hearing. I will watch that committee hearing, and we'll see exactly what the arguments are, what this bill says. We'll try to get the language of the bill worked up and see exactly what's going on with this because, yeah, TikTok isn't good, but it's not bad either. It could be a lot better. We've heard people say, the Chinese version of TikTok, I forget the name of it right off, but so-called the Chinese version of TikTok is more focused on education, making kids smarter, not dumber. Because a lot of kids are influenced by stuff they see on TikTok. Like there was a rash of kids cutting themselves because they saw some AI-generated stuff of people cutting themselves, and they thought, I'm going to try that too. I know some people personally that their children cut themselves very badly, by the way. One of them had to have like 80-something stitches in his arm. He split it more than 8 inches down his freaking arm. It was nuts. But yeah, kids are influenced heavily by stuff like this, and you get people on there making a fool of themselves, just joking around, and some kids don't know the difference, and they take it seriously. So yeah, TikTok can be a bad thing, but once again, it can be a good thing. It's entertainment, for God's sakes. So I don't know the answer to this one. I'll be honest. I don't know if we should ban this or not, but divesting it from China, that's a great idea. How the hell we can do that if this bill makes that succeed and there's no hidden provisions in there for the government spying on us and it doesn't actually infringe on our civil liberties, I'm all for it. But knowing what I know about the government and the underhanded stuff that they do all the time, I have serious concerns about any legislation that would ban applications, something you should be free to use if you want to. Once again, it's the government taking our freedoms away from us, and we allow it. We allow all for it all the time. Yeah, some people might not like it, but hey, you voted in that congressman, whoever voted for it, so you have to take the blame for that. We don't like taking blame for anything, especially politicians. They love pointing the finger, and as a matter of fact, they legislate specifically to point the finger at people. Like I explained the other day about the Don't Kick Dogs bill. They'll write up a Don't Kick Dogs bill and call it that, and then say you can't kick dogs, you can't do this to dogs, blah 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 blah, and then they'll write some BS in the bill, like saying that the government can basically turn on your camera and take a picture of you whenever you want, and people will see that, and they'll be like, hell no, I ain't voting for this. So then they don't vote for the Don't Kick Dogs bill, and then whoever voted for the Don't Kick Dogs bill will say, look, these people want to kill dogs. They hate dogs. They don't mind people kicking dogs. And they'll try to use it as a political bludgeon to destroy their opponents when their opponents actually voted against the government spying. So you got to watch out for stuff like this. And hopefully that's what I'm here for, is to point out stuff like this in these bills. That's the whole premise of this show that I'm putting together on YouTube, is to point out stuff, underhanded stuff that the government does all the time. That's what I'm here for. And that's all I got for this one. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about this down in the comment section, because I'd really love to hear from you guys, because I want to hear arguments from both ways, because I really don't know where to go with this one. Like I said, if it's just divesting TikTok from ByteDance, I'm all for it. Yeah, free markets. I don't think we should be involved with Chinese companies in such a way like that, because the concern really is that because ByteDance is owned by the CCP, essentially, and TikTok is owned by ByteDance, there is a law in China that forces companies to receive all their data from companies. So they're forced to give over their data to this company. They say they don't do it, but they're violating Chinese law. Do you think they're really going to be bought into a company like that just allows them to violate Chinese law? No, I don't think so. I think there's a bunch of fishy stuff going on with TikTok. And I'd like to hear what you guys think about all this down in the comment section. And that's all I got for this one, y'all. I want to thank everybody for watching. And if y'all could, do me a big favor and smash that subscribe button for me and turn on your notifications. And if you also could, hit that like button for me. I sure would appreciate it. Thanks. And y'all try to have a good day and be positive. Peace.